beautiful ignited souls. We are here for part two on good and evil. We are trying to work out, we're really trying to work out the difference between good and evil. Now, why are we doing that? I mean, everybody knows what's good, everybody knows what's evil. But we have seen from part one, perhaps we have got things a little bit twisted. Now, not necessarily twisted. If you're like me, you would know a lot of things that were bad, a lot of things that were evil, a lot of things that you experience. I mean, going through your own experiences, that you would see them, oh, this is such an evil thing happened to me, or this person did such an evil thing to me, or that's the worst thing that could ever happen to me. And the next day or the next year or 10 years down the line, you are saying, oh my, that was the best thing that ever happened to me. So what is good and what is bad or evil? We're not using the word bad or evil because that's the thing that really seemed to have turned, the spanner in the works, so to speak, with Adam and Eve. So what is evil? So we have seen that the word evil actually from the first with the help of the high priest Aaron, who we are acknowledging his presence with us, and of course the 14 gods, which is the God of creation, the God of causation, the God of callings, the God of saints, the God of settings, and the God of soarings, the God of movement, the God of makings, the God of endings, and the God of division, which is what we are going through now as well. The God of formation, the God of blessings, the God of breath, and I feel that we have, and the God of blessings, of course, and the set God. We must not forget the set God. So the set God, I think, is very active now, because when things are being divided, for instance, I think the set God is like taking things and saying, okay, this belongs here, or this belongs over there, and so on. So, okay, so back to good and evil. Now, according to High Priest Aaron, good and evil, of course, is like the combination of this life cycle. It is life cycle as we know it is definitely a amalgamation of what we call good and evil, which is like an, you hear some people say, like a necessary evil. And so this is exactly what it is. But also he has drawn our attention to look at the word evil as live, Live, and to see that it is a consistency, as wherever you would choose like Live, or you had Live here, and that is really what good is. It's like good is things were created, because remember in the scriptures it says when God breathed in man's nostrils he became a living soul. So we see that Eve was in existence, and then we saw that everything God created, he saw it and cut it and saw that it was good, like cutting an apple, because the word apple actually equals 5. So let's just say an apple. Okay, so you cut it and you see that the seeds or the pips and everything, but it is good. But however, for you to say that it is live, it's that you start doing something else with it. Like you make apple pie, you might make apple juice, apple truffle, and all this different. Now we have Apple computers, Apple laptops, Apple PCs, whatever it is. It's no end. This is saying it's no end to Apple, because something that is edible, now you have it in a PC form, which tells me as well to make just PC is 10. Okay, all right, Apple Mac, 10. It's just hybrid. Aaron is saying to do the math, still do it. So this is 3 plus 5 is 8. So this is what I can see. And of course, PC is 10. So this would be 1. 1 plus 8 is 9. So this is really funny, because I'm trying not to do it, but I could hear High Priest Aaron saying, just do the math, just do the math. Okay, so we have seen the word live or evil is 3, and of course good is 5, and adding this together gives us 8. So we have seen that 8 is the symbol of infinity. It tells us that everything contains in this 8, just like the God who sets, like the God set. Now, I think the God set is also in mythology, and it's no wonder we see the strength, because the God set is like set has set a template that is very strong, and it's like you need to really break it to really make it. Meaning, if you already have that template, what are you making? This is already a template, so you need to be breaking, just like this is what Moses had. So Moses, Moses, he equaled 8, but he had to break the template, meaning break the tablet. In fact, let's just do tablet, tablet, which is 212,352. Adding this together, this is 10, and this is 10 plus 5 is 15. That's correct, 15. Okay, so he had to break. I don't know how he would have broken 15. So basically, but so he broke it. Basically, of course, he would have to break it in two, because 1 plus 5 is 6. And this is why now I get something. Okay, thank you, High Priest Aaron. So 6, and that's why the word strength equals free. It equals free. So we are talking about strength. And you could see, like in the tarot deck, for instance, the strength card is 8. So it's like you are the strength is like, the word strength is free, and free is really always trying to get its other partner. And we can see why as well. This is like a representation of the two serpents in the Garden of Eden, of course. And the representation is like, okay, this is not a very good representation, but they are the medicine right there. So it's like free is looking for its other free, and it's all looking for its partner to have a little kiss, and then they meet together, of course, and there they are, and that is 8. So and this is what Moses, so basically Moses was 8, and Moses had to be broken. So Moses is really, and when it says Moses wrote the 10 commandments or on 2 tablets, or which then he had 2 tablets, meaning it was 6 and 6, 12, which coincides with the 12 tribes of Israel. And thank you, High Priest Aaron, and the 12 tribes of Israel, the 12 zodiac signs, the 12 hours of the day, the 12 months of the year, and so on. So we see all this was there. So basically, the first tablet, which was whole, 1 tablet, well, I think it was 1 tablet, but it was said it was God had written it. Whether it was on a tablet, we have to be specific with the words as well. But 6 would be a representation of a Genesis. The word Genesis, Genesis, equals 33. And this is what I mean. Free is looking for its other free. And that's what happens. So the tablet was representing new Genesis, the new journey that they were making, the children of Israel. Okay, so back to good and evil here. We see that good and evil, of course, as we say, equals 8. We, like it was with Moses, we also see Moses has 5 letters to his name, which is a representation as well as in Eve equaling 5. This is what I'm saying, as in Eve that equals 5. Or good, no, it wouldn't be good, but good is 5 as well. 5 also equals 5, sorry. Good also equals 5 as well. So we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 letters to the tablet as well, coinciding as well with 33. Okay, so let's re-examine and not go too far into this. Let's look at how 8 and evil and Eve and God and good, or whatever it is. And okay, so High Priest Aaron, help us to understand more about it. And this is it. Eve, of course, so we have evil, we know it's life. All right, so that equals free, we have covered that. And to really get us to understand the demarcation of the letter L as well, how effective it is, because Mother Eve uses the letter L in her first spell when she says, let there be light. Now, the other thing High Priest Aaron is reminding us is that he says, remember, the letters of the gods that I have done videos on are 8 letters. 7 letters are very consistent in that 7 of them really covers the word let, L-E-T, and the. Whether the was part of the word there, but it covers that. So this is 6 and this is 1 and this is 7. So High Priest Aaron is really reminding us that there were seven sevens here. So the way I check now, I would say 4 sevens 28 because it's easier for me, and 3 sevens 21. So this would be 49. So basically this comes to 13, and this is the He who created. He who created, He is 8 5. Adding this together gives us 5. Gives us, 13. 13, of course, a numerical value for the word 13 is 9. So we see 9 here is corresponding with the 9 gods in Genesis of chapter 1. So the created God to the blessed God. And of course, the ninth God as well is where the God of blessings. Okay, and God blessed. So let's just bear in mind that we have 13 here. So 1 plus 3, of course, is 4. Now, 4 is setting that foundation that is necessary for a new path, a new people. According to the high priest Aaron, this is where we are at. 4 is representing the 40 years in the desert, or the 4 that they, whether it was 4 months or 4 weeks or whatever, 4 that was first meant to have happened, but it's 4 is being presented right there. So this is why, according to High Priest Aaron, having added all the numerical values of the position or the numerical values of each of the gods, we can see that they are very consistent in, apart from one number is absent, meaning all the gods, the 9 gods right here on this board, as you can see, as the created God, the moved God, the set God, the divided God, the called God, the made God, the set God, and the blessed God. Adding this together, we see, let's get off focus. We are diving and digging deep. Okay, we are digging deep. So we have 2. So let's begin. 1, 2, 3, no 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 8. And this is where things change, of course, as in, and this is, of course, 8 is representing the set. This is where 2 things happen, 3 or sets of 3 or sets of 4 or sets, but these are sets. And so, of course, adding all these numerical values together comes to 40, which is, of course, coinciding with Jesus Christ fasting for 40 days and 40 nights. Noah on the ark and the flood was for 40 days and 40 nights, and so on. And it would be interesting for us to do days and nights as well. I have done that, but to see how they correlate with all of this as well. And I know days actually is 13 and nights is actually 41. So this is 8. I've got to do that and just check my memory as well. So days, because this is where numerology is giving us quite a lot. Days and nights, NIGTA. H8. It's on there, it's correct. Okay, so it's 4171. Adding this together, this is 9, 10, 13. So this is correct. And we have NI is 14, and we have 14, 21, 28, 29, 30, 31. I've got to really check that again at days and nights. So this is 10, 11. Okay, 11 plus 20. This is 5 plus 7 is 12. Okay, this is 23. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. And High Priest Aaron is saying, take your time. Take your time. NIGHTS. Okay, so this is 5 plus 9 is 14. And we have 7 plus 10, 17, 18. Okay, so this is 12. Oh, it was 32. So this is 5. So we have 4 plus 5 is 9. Okay. So 13 meaning is 4. Okay. So it was correct. All right. So not the other way around. Okay. So 9, of course, coincides back with 6 if we did the numerical value. So, but we can see it's 40 days and 40 nights. Now, we also see that number 8, of course, as we have seen, showing here we are exploring good and evil. And we are seeing how things had been created already from Genesis of chapter 1 when Mother Eve, of course, whenever we hear of the said God, whenever we hear and God said, and So there's an addition. An addition is always happening, and God said. And Hybris Aaron is saying to me, do the whole thing to see what, just to see. So said God is 24, I think. Let's do this, or 15 rather. This is 9, 10, 14, 15. So this is 6, God is 8, and is 1. So we have 7 and 8 is 15. This is it. So, and God said, and this is another thing, I hope you see what's happening. The scriptures is written, the numerical value is written so cleverly that the whole sentence, to the point that is necessary to make, will still add up to that numerical value. So the word said equals 15, but when we said and God said, it is still 15. And of course 1 plus 5 is 6. And this is representing us. The said God, the words of speech, and this is why it is said, in the beginning was the Word, of course, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. So we can see the God of sayings here, which is 496.5. Adding this together, this is 10, 19, 24, of course, which is the very first spell Mother Eve cast when she says, let there be light, and there was light. This comes to 24. We are talking about days, and we are talking about, of course, 2 4s are 8 right here as well. It's like saying this, you need to have these 2 4s to set that foundation of the setting to get number 8. Okay, so we see that here. Another thing, according to High Priest Aaron, and we are going to make this short just to really explore good and evil. So we see good, we know God is in there because the said God is there as well. And evil, we have seen, is live. We are digging in deep because we want to understand this and to really understand how we are, even where we are in this quarantine or with COVID-19, because COVID, actually, COVID, it actually equals 8, and then we have 19, which is 10, and of course 1 plus 8 is 9. So we can see how all of these things are coinciding, and basically COVID-19 is birthing something. So it is taking the position that we are meant to take, where in the 8th letter, when Mother Eve says, this is 8, when Mother Eve says, let us make man in our image after our likeness. So let us, we see that comes to 5. So Mother Eve is really representing her essence in this speech right there. Let us. This is number 5. So basically that's Mother Eve in the let us right now. It's like a mother. She's allowing us to do as we please. We want a car, we want cake, we want whatever it is, and to really just reverberate in whatever way we are choosing. Okay, and that's what COVID-19 now is really, as we know, it mutates, and it's just happening, and it's doing its own thing as well. So just to conclude on the word 8, EIGHT, there is more to do on this. 5, 9, 7, 8, 2. This is 10, 19, 26, and this and 5 is 31. So we can see if we did the numerical value for 31, THIRTY, and 1, 31, this is 289,927, and 1 is 7. We've done this many times. So just 20, 30, 37. So 3 plus 7 is 1. 1 plus 7 is 8. So this we can see, it's like very tight. When we do a formula or a sum, if you like, or formula, whatever it is, and we get this as it is, it's like saying there needs to be a great, like a pandemic, like a great evolution or something to break out of this 8, because you can do so much with this 8 and it's like not shifting. So you will need to really find out. And basically it's like saying you need a cycle. It's like they have said 14 days, but at 14 days, which to you need 14 days quarantine. So let's do 14 days quarantine, which I feel is going to coincide with 31 as well, giving us 8. So 14 is actually 41. So the word 14, and of course 1 is 7. So this is 12. Okay. All right. So 12. TWELVE. So this is 255345. Okay. 10, 15, 24. So this would be 6. Okay. So 6. All right. So I was wondering whether this had a correlation with 6, or 6 gives us 7 and so on, and 7 gives us 20. Okay. But let's really look at how 8 is really telling us that there is a cycle of 31. 31 is really like 31 days of the month. It also corresponds, this is the other thing, it also corresponds with the exact number, because we see on Mother Eve's letters, that which I have showed you, or have I showed you at all? Okay. Okay, here. So we see that we have 31, and 31 is the cycle of, so 7 months of the year, 7 months of the year is a 31 days. And we see that this is also 7 Latins of Mother Eve right here. So the number 7, and that we see right here, I will say that all these Latins, let there be light, let there be a firmament, let the waters, let the earth bring forth, let the lights, and let the waters, and we did all these Latins, and of course we had 13 when we did this, and of course the numerical value of 13 is 9. It also shows us that if we did the numerical value for the separate words, that would be 1 would be 7, and 3 would be 2. So we can see we have right here, this would be 9, ready to birth. It's still the same thing, ready to birth newness. If we did this separate, this is really 13. That means 13 is a very, very strong number, because it actually, as in a word, 13 gives us 9. And if we did the separate numerical value for 1, we would have 7, and likewise for 3 we would have 2, meaning 11. So it gives us 2, and this gives us 9. So this tells us a lot about the number 13. So let us make man in our image after our likeness, and this is where we are now coming away from this which was 13, and now we are moving into 5. So this is 4, this is 4, and now we are moving into 5. We've got to get into 5. Basically, it's like having a tent. It's like oh, I really wanted to make this short. It's like having 4 pillars, but they all meet at the top. So it's a tent basically, and in fact the word tent, T-E-N-T, is 2552. Adding this together is 14. 1 plus 4 is 5. Just like Mother Eve is 5. So we are seeing right here on for good, which equals 5. Mother Eve is good. And we see for evil, which is 3. We have seen how we've had to look for, well, I did show about strength, or how 3 is, perhaps we need to do more on 3 as well. But I'm going to leave this here because but it's to really show how the number 8 coincides with Mother Eve's letters. I know I have done several of these, but I just feel that there needs to be more emphasis, and perhaps the more I do it is the more I'll be able to find a simple way of bringing the message across when Mother Eve does say this. So basically we need to get into this 5 here, which is let us. Now perhaps High Priest Aaron says to carry on, carry on. So now we have seen that we have come from the He who created 13, because He is 13. And of course 1 plus 3 is 4. So we have seen the strength of 13, and 13 will birth 9. It will birth 9. So it is really creating and birthing its babies, put it this way. Now we also have looked at how number 8 coincides with COVID, and also virus. This is these two numbers. Of course, we see COVID is 8 and virus is 8. If we add this together, 8 and 8, 16, 1 plus 6 is 7. This is also telling us that there is a either for the, I would not say just the 7 months, for the next 7 years, we really have a lot to learn on this that which we are experiencing now. So let's go back to let us. We see we have in let us where this has changed, and even in the first two letters or two words rather, this coincides with Mother Eve as 5 letters, and with 5 letters and 5 numerical value. This also coincides with Adam, by the way, because it's good to remember there is Adam, Adam, which is 4 letters, because that is about to set foundation. But we've seen that 5, okay, let's just look at this, 4, 14, and there's also another 14. So basically we see how Adam might have come out of this new creation where Mother Eve was already there. So we have been taught that Adam was created or was first before Eve, but there was a second creation. So Eve was already in the first creation, and man was created, and we see Adam was created, and then there was the wife, his wife. So this numerical value is showing us very much that the said God was there from early as we could see, from the everything like the waters, which we are. In fact, I'm told it's 100% water, but most people say 90% or 70% or whatever it is. So it's just different forms of water that we are. So basically, here we see that 1414 is like saying that there is a twin. This is what I'm getting right now, as if there was a twin in Adam as well, because, and that would make sense, because everything we see, that everything that was ever created was in twos. So you had Cain and Abel, you had Jacob and Esau, you had all these different twos. So this is telling me that there were two Adams in this. Okay. All right. So there was something else that I felt with number 8 that we really need to pay attention to. Just let's look at the good and evil, where 8 derives from. So we have seen as well that it's the 8 that Mother Eve and Adam ate. So Eve ate of the fruit, so we could see that the fruit was actually, fruit equals 11. So we see, if we say we were to do this separate, this would be 1. ONE is 7, and then another one is also 7. So this is 7 plus 7 is 14, and this is the 14 that we have been a lot have been activated in vibrational sense in this 5th month of May, because May is our 5th month, which is coinciding with Mother Eve and which coincides with good. And of course, adding this together, we have Pope Francis, which is also 7. Pope is 7, Francis is 7. Adding this together gives us 14. We had a lot happening in our world around this, in this month of May. A lot has been happening because people who have been in the know have known how to tap into this. If we did the numerical value for the word 11, or as in 11, we would have 9. 9 definitely births everything here. If we did it as 2, 2 would give us the number 13. 13 is the incubator right there as well. Okay, so, and 13, of course, as we have seen, still gives us 9. So it still births after its kind, so to speak. So we had Adam, or it said, oh, he, so Eve ate. So Eve was again 5, but she ate, ATE. And this is 8. So 5 plus 8 we see is 13. So we could see that Mother Eve, in this sense, by eating of the apple or the fruit, whatever it was, had already now become he. There is an aspect she had merged with this, because you are what you eat, so to speak. So Mother Eve has now become 13. So, of course, when Mother Eve says, let us make man in our image after our likeness, we see the he who created he, him, and he, them, and male and female. Of course, he was another 13. So, adding these two together, just as we add the gods, the 14 gods, the two sets of 7 gods, if you like, adding this together comes to 26. 2 plus 6 is 8. So there's another template. We see how another creation had happened right there by in the he, him, the he, them, and so on. So there was a creation right there in Genesis of chapter 1. This is how it is, people. This is how it is. So the idea that we think, okay, and God said, oh, you shouldn't eat of the fruit, or what happened in Genesis of chapter 2 was like the new thing. No, there was something that happened there, and it had to birth after its kind. So number 8, of course, cannot remain for us to experience who we are, where we are, and to get a sense of point of reference. We can't keep going in the 8. We have to break it, just like Moses broke the tablet, which was, and then breaking the tablet, of course, he had 2 sets of tablets. Then you start the cycle of again. So you finding your number 6 in the tablet. You have 2 6s are 12. Then you carry on again. So this is it. And basically the set God as well. This is where you get to be with the set God, because the set God is 15. So the tablet is actually 15. So the words on the tablet was Mother Eve. And this is why we thank you, High Priest Aaron is saying to us that God and Moses actually met with Mother Eve. So this is all this very same thing, because Eve plus Moses 8. This is what happened, and there was a new creation, and they had to set there. So there was a new template. Now Moses as well equals 8, and we had Aaron. High Priest Aaron was 22. 2 plus 2 is 4. So High Priest Aaron, we have seen in other presentations, has now become God. So I hope you really get this. I really, really do hope so, because there's so much more on it, and we need to find out how we can be how infinitely it. Stay ignited.